Every story could be about Taylor Swift. Hello. Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, this is a live news show for movie fans, where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, including what's going on with Tom Hardy joining Mahershala Ali. So what's going on with that Blade movie then? Laws of Man, Jason Statham joining the director of the Plane movie for a new movie. We'll rank all the Planet of the Apes movies, at least the last 4 that came out. What's going on with this Netflix rom-com? Apparently there's like an AI generated script that they used. We'll take a look at the weekend's box office, but we start off today's show by talking about one of my favorite topics, Downton Abbey 3, third Downton Abbey movie set with Paul Giamatti returning. Wow, cool. Paul Giamatti is reprising his role from the Downton Abbey series. Cool. So he was he married Cora's sister, right? Is that the way? He was an American. So Hugh Bonneville, Elizabeth McGovern, Michelle Dockery are returning. So that's the core 3 there. And then I would imagine the other sisters will join. Sister, right? There's only one left. Her, right there in the middle. Guys, I liked the last Downton Abbey movie. And actually, I like the last 2. In fact, I'll tell you this straight up. I never watched the series, but I was able to follow along with what was going on in the movies. And that's how well crafted those movies were. That you didn't need to watch what was happening in those movies. And I actually really enjoyed it. And so did a lot of people. The last movie, Downton Abbey, A New Era, 87% by critics, 97% by the audience. And what it did do is that it made me go back and watch the entire series. I binged it, man. And then I got a new appreciation for the movies. So I went back and watched the movies again. So that's how good the series is. It's incredibly well written. The first movie there had 84%, 94% by the audience. So people liked it, but it does call into question, is it financially responsible to make another one? The first one made a lot of bank at the box office, $96 million. These movies don't cost a whole lot. I think the budget for them was around the $40 million marks. But A New Era, as you can see, the arc for it was much lower. Now there was a time gap there that between the first movie and the second movie, just like there would be for this next one, that as long as they keep the budget reasonable, there's still people that like these characters and would like to see them kind of continue on. And I think that this one would have to be, the final one, right? All the big trades are coming along here because the last movie hinted at the possibility of their way of life coming down to its conclusion, right? Of the big families and the big houses with the servants and stuff, that way of life. And they're just getting to a point in society where, it's just it's time to evolve kind of thing. And I've always said it, that there's a story there to be told about, okay, what would it be like on the last days where we're going to move on from this style of living? A little bittersweet for sure. Paul Giamatti, Jolie Richardson, Alessandro Nivola, and Simon Russell Beale and Artsy Frushan joined the cast. So there they are right there. The only one I recognize, well, Jolie Richardson. She was in Event Horizon. A lot of TV stuff too. And of course you remember Pollux Troy, right there in the middle. He was in Jurassic Park 3. Paul Giamatti coming back, though, is a big thumbs up. If you didn't watch The Holdovers from last year, he was fantastic in that. So no word yet on the script, but it's going to be from the writers from the original, right? The movie that will be written by, Julian Fellows, the scribe who created the acclaimed TV show. So it's going to be like the same writers, the same pedigree of people who are creating this. Who's going to be directing? Who knows? That'll be up to later on, more news as this all comes out. This was announced this morning, guys. Downton Abbey 3. Do you like it? Do you want to see more? I do. And as I said, there is that kind of like bittersweet ending story that could be told. And they got to wrap up something with Mary. If you don't know, Mary's husband was kind of like left out of the last movie because, I don't know, make her have a happy ending too. That's the way I would like to see it. We don't need any more tragedy in the family, I don't think, because Maggie Smith moved on in the last movie because she was just that old. The character was that old, right? I'd be looking forward to it. And I hope they, as long as they, as I said, it's under budget. Downton Abbey 3. Probably next year, guys, it would come out if they're going to shoot it this fall. Maybe I'll keep my eye open for it, and if any news opens up for it, then for sure you'll hear it right here on Mirror Domains. Okay, let's move on to some weekend movie news about the weekend's box office report. Hey, if you like this kind of stuff, guys, come join me on all the other social media handles. Sometimes you get the stories and behind the scenes look at what we're doing and stuff like that here on the channel, like me going to the movies and such. So it's Monday. Let's talk about the weekend's box office report. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes wins the #1 spot. Apes rules the box office. Yes, indeed. And we had forecasted it. Nothing else was opening up this weekend, so that was pretty much a given. So for the weekend of May 10th to the 12th of 2024, the top 5 at the box office goes: #1, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes; #2, The Fall Guy; #3, Challengers; #4, Taro. Taro is hanging in there. Cool. And of course, 5, Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire is still hanging in there. It crossed 500 million, guys. What a great time for Godzilla and Kong movies. Taro hanging in there. We'll talk about that. But let's start off by taking a look at the numbers for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I really like this movie, and everybody who went out to see this movie liked this movie. 81% by critics, 79% by the audience. There's a few people that nitpicked about the pacing of it, but 56 domestically, 72 internationally, for a worldwide total of 129 million. On a budget reported to be somewhere around 160. So I say this, guys, because I know what movies are coming out this week. Strangers opens up this week. The Ryan Reynolds kids movie If, about imaginary friends, opens up this week. And those are 2 different movies that will not eat away at the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes box office. If will probably, Kingdom will be cut in half, probably down to about 25 million. And I don't know if I think will probably be around 30 to 40, maybe. So yeah, If will be #1, Kingdom will be #2, and then Strangers Chapter 1 will be #3. That's the way I'm forecasting it as of right now, at the preliminary numbers. We got a story about the Strangers we'll take a look at in just a minute. But did you guys go and see the Apes? Did you like it? Iron Boy Wonder says, love Fall Guys, saw it last week. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, I saw it yesterday. A sequel is now already warranting. Oh yeah, for sure, for Kingdom. They've left the door wide open for Kingdom to have more. We did a story on the weekend where the writers had envisioned it for be like 9 movies. It was like, what 9 movies? Where I said that, okay, if the first 3 are about Caesar, and then the next 3 are about Noah, I'd be on board with that. And then you make a third one about maybe trying to tie in like humans coming back to the planet in some kind of way. Like you feel like it was driving back towards that, right? Where we'd get like the Charlton Heston kind of thing. Although we didn't really blow up the world in this continuity, right? We didn't blow it up, so I don't know how they'll play into that. It's very curious. I still think that this has been one of my favorite experiences in the movie theater this year, aside from like Dune Part 2, obviously. Good for Apes. 129. It's gonna break even. People say, well, no, James, it's gonna make 350 million. Yes, it does, but it's gonna slowly get there because we're just starting out with the summer season, guys, and it's not gonna have a whole lot of competition until Furiosa is gonna be like the same type of audience that will go out, and Furiosa's out in 2 weeks, so it'll have another good weekend next weekend, is what I'm predicting. And then it'll slowly hang in there just the way that Godzilla X Kong has. That's what I'm forecasting. So, Fall Guy falls down to the second spot. Let's take a look at those numbers. For a worldwide total of 103. Now, guys, the budget for this was reported to be like around 130 million. It's going to get that 130 million, I think, by the time it's all done. But you got to, just like I said for Kingdom, you got to take in the marketing and what the theaters take. So it probably had to make around 300 to break even. And it's not going to break even, which kind of sucks. Maybe 250 if you're really crunching things, but it's not going to get there, and it's a bummer because I like the Fall Guy. It had a lot. It was just fun, guys. You go to the theater, you crack one open, you have some popcorn, and you go, yeah, that's the kind of movie it is. Like talking about good theatrical experiences. Fall Guy, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, two very different types of movies. But they're fun at the theater. They're both fun. Challengers is a little bit more serious. It's hanging in there. Tarot is something that we need to talk about, because Tarot is a horror movie that had a budget of like 13 million, I think it was. It's made 20 million, despite getting crushed at the tomato meter. I think it was like 8%. When it debuted. I think it slowly climbed up to 21%. Yeah, so Tarot. And I said it was probably one of the worst movies of the year. 21%. Actually, no, it's not. It's not one of the worst movies of the year. James, did you not remember Night Swim? And I did not like Lisa Frankenstein. Tarot is a better movie than those. Night Swim is atrocious. It's a tough watch. 21%, 57% by the audience. It's fun entry-level horror. That's what I said about Tarot. It's not scary for us horror aficionados, but it's, I guess we kind of have to say kudos, right? You came in and made a small little score, and horror movies always do that, right? So Godzilla X Kong hanging in there. It'll be out of the top 5 next week. 558 million. That's a big win. There's already a greenlit sequel that we talked about on the weekend. The writer of Shang-Chi is coming in to do Godzilla X Kong 2, right? Is that what we reported? What's the other one? Not Another Church Movie. Never heard that one. Is that like a spoof movie? Pool Man! Yes. I guess that one's getting a little bit of a wider release, 130. This is Chris Pine's movie, first directorial debut. That's getting roasted on the tomato meter as well. People just are just shaking their heads at what the heck is this movie? 17%, 22% by the audience. Nobody likes it. So sorry, Chris Pine, and he's befuddled by the entire situation. But we've talked about headlines where he's been befuddled by a whole bunch of things. Like he thought there was a Star Trek 4 script. There isn't. He thought that people would want to see the Wonder Woman 3 movie. People, I guess people didn't. So, he thought that he would make like this weird movie about a pool man that people would want to see. Well, sorry. People didn't want it. And people are trying to defend him. My only defense to Chris Pine is that, hey, even Christopher Nolan, or no, James Cameron made Piranha 2, The Spawning, right? That was his first movie. Don't ever. I don't know why people expect to hit a home run with their first kind of step up to the plate. Very few people that do that. Spielberg had Duel, which was actually not that bad. So maybe, yeah, every now, but you can't think that you're going to be Steven Spielberg, right? It's just unreasonable. It takes time. It's like your first YouTube video. Yeah, my first YouTube video sucked. My first live stream was awful. It happens. You develop the skills and tools to go forward, and you'll just learn from it, Chris Pine. Iron Boy says, I hope sequels should finally introduce the Autronauts. Oh, yeah, for Godzilla X Kong. That's what I said on the weekend. Is that I hope they bring in those aliens. I forget what. Yeah, there's a weird name like that where they want to take them to their planet to fight other monsters, right? 2 weeks Furiosa could top the box. Oh yeah, no doubt. Furiosa is going to be #1 in 2 weeks. Chris Schober, hey, James, did you hear that they might make 5 more movies after King? Well, we just talked about that, Chris. Yes, we did. We talked about that on the weekend as well. I covered that at quite length. Maybe I need to chop out some of these stories and put them up because they're starting to get a little bit of traction, which is good. But that's the way that the weekend's box office has been, guys. Real no big surprises. Kung Fu Panda dropping off. Phantom Menace goes out of the top 5. Well, we knew that. That was only a limited release kind of thing. What do you guys think about that? One other story here that I did want to talk about the weekend, because this opened up on the weekend as well on Netflix, a rom-com. New Netflix rom-com hits top of streamers movie chart despite audience claims of terrible AI-generated script with Brooke Shields. Hey, I was on my Netflix account this weekend and I saw this movie. It's only a quick 90 minutes. You guys know how I feel about runtimes. And I like Brooke Shields. Benjamin Bratt is also in it. Audiences and critics have torn to Netflix's new chart-topping rom-com, and it did well on the Netflix guys, but slamming it as a cliched mess of has not stopped it from drawing huge viewership. Well, because people like rom-coms. And when you got a small one here, might as well. Mother of the Bride star previously spoke about getting the script just right. And now there's reports that, that it's AI generated. God, talk about ageless and timeless beauty. Brooke Shields. So she said to the Hollywood Reporter, it was ironic how many complaints over the AI-generated script is that Shields previously discussed the challenges of getting the script right. For me, this was one of the situations where I really wanted the script to be right, and I really wanted to push it through, and I had a lot to say in trying to get it seen by the right people. That was important for me just because of the kinds of stories are multi-level where there are different stories being told. So basically, guys, this couple are going to get married in this Caribbean paradise, and the parents of one of them is now dating the son's other parent or something like that. It's really weird. It's typical kind of fare when it comes to rom-com. Oh, then they used to be married, like Benjamin Bratt and her used to be married or something. So now they're separated, but now he's dating like one of the brides or the daughter. Oh, yeah, something like that. The bride's mother or something like that. So there's like some animosity. It looked fairly harmless to me, but apparently they're complaining that it felt like a little too AI generated. And we got to keep our eyes on this, guys, because it's possible that it could be AI generated. Do we need to do a full live watch along for this? I don't know. Should I watch it with such scrutiny that this movie may warrant? I don't know. What was it called? Not Mother of the Bride. I'll just pull it up on Netflix.
Wait.
If I can find it. Not shows. I want movies. Top movies. Where is it? Brooke Shields. Sorry, guys. Just talk about taking the wind out of the...
Looks like the
Oh, yeah, it is Mother of the Bride. Sorry. Yeah, Mother of the Bride. Okay, so let's pull up that tomato meter. that's getting 19% by both parties there. Lana's daughter Emma returns from abroad and drops a bombshell. She's getting married in Thailand in a month. Okay, not Caribbean, I guess in Thailand. Things get worse. As Lana learns that the man who captured Emma's heart is the son of the man who broke hers years ago. Yeah. So people didn't like it. But it's just curious. Keep our eyes on that. Okay. This is going to be a segment that's going to get chopped out and put up on the channel later on, because I do want to talk about this. We're going to rank all the Apes movies right now, because Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is in theaters right now, and in my straight out of the theater reaction, I said it's got to be one of the better Apes movies, right? Joe Blow has a poll up on their website. I encourage you to go over there and vote in that. I haven't voted yet. So they're including all of the Planet of the Apes, including Tim Burton's and all the other ones. But I only want to rank the 4 newer ones and let you know where they sit. Because as I said, this Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, I think, has to be one of the better ones out there. So, out of the top 4, we got Rise, Dawn, War, and Kingdom. How would I rank them? Well, let's start off with the least one. And I think this one should come as no surprise. Let me just preface this by saying all 4 of the Planet of the Apes movies that we've gotten recently, they're all good. They're all outstanding. And I like how diverse they are in the change of tone. They feel like totally different kind of entities. But in the number 4 spot, I would say War of the Planet of the Apes. And I really like that movie. I like Bad Ape. And it was a thrilling conclusion to Caesar's story. I thought they wrapped up that very, very well. Woody Harrelson coming in as kind of like the human. And I liked how he was like struggling to not be like Koba. There's so much to like about this movie. It was breathtakingly beautiful. I like all the Apes movies. So number 4 would be War of the Planet of the Apes. Woody Harrelson was like, you hated him in this movie. And it got into some weird stuff about like humans not being good, right? And you sympathize with the apes once again. So number 4 is War of the Planet of the Apes for me. And then I guess number 3, I know that this will be a bit of a shocker because it's also really good. And I just recently rewatched it. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is number 3. 91% by critics, 88% by the people. This is the second movie, guys. This is the second movie with where Koba tries to break off and have war with the humans, right? But what I liked about it was like the duality. While Caesar had Koba going awry, the humans also had their version of a Koba that was going off and trying to start things, right? So it was very bittersweet towards the end, where you get teary-eyed thinking about it. It's like, it's probably Jason Patrick's, or Patrick, whatever his name is there, his best work. A lot of people like that duality of that, like them trying to have peace, right? To try to work together. Hey, we just want power for the dam. We just want to, why can't we? Jason Clark. We just want to make this happen. And it was Kerry Russell too. Toby Kebbell is Koba. He took over for Koba. Matt Reeves directed this one, the guy who did the Batman. And you knew then it was going to be really well done. So it almost hurts me to say that it's the third best, for me at least. Because, and at the ending where it's like, we tried. We both tried and we both wanted it. And then, of course, it was the it was hard for me to watch the scene where he's he goes into his old house and he sees the footage of James Franco, um, and he says that he was a good man. You know, he obviously succumbed to the virus. So Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is my third pick. What is your picks so far, guys? Number 2 is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes for me. I just felt like it was so refreshing that they took it like I was like, okay, are we just going to get a rinse and repeat? And no, it's not a rinse and repeat. They're doing something totally different with this. I like the kind of apocalypto kind of spin to it. And then a Proximus Caesar coming in. This takes place years after Caesar, right? And it introduces us to Noah here, who is a great character, I think, who grows. There's a great scene in it where one of the other apes sees a change in him, and she's just like, "You've changed." And you feel that because you, as the audience, grow with Noah throughout it. It's so incredibly well done, and it's another breathtaking movie to watch. Freya Allen as the human character in this, haunting performance, because you're like, is she good or is she bad? Do you trust her? Should we trust her based on War of the Planet of the Apes, right? She talks, but I thought that wasn't supposed to happen anymore. And I'll say one last thing here about Proximus Caesar. I got hints and tones of Kurtz from Apocalypse Now. So it was kind of like a mix-up of Apocalypse Now kind of thing, where you see Proximus come in and he's making these speeches and stuff like that and trying to, build his own empire kind of thing. It's just rich, and it was kind of like a really good handoff Wes Ball did, picking up that ball, picking up the mantle from Matt Reeves, what he established with Dawn and War of the Planet of the Apes. So, the number 1 pick, guys, as you know, it should be obvious by now, is Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And before you discount it and say, well, it had its problems, this is the movie that helped establish that this is not the same tone as those Burton pictures, right? As the Charlton Heston ones, right? This is the one where it's like, wait a minute. Wow, you're adding on a different flavor here. And there's the symbol, guys, the window symbol. Like, it's heartbreaking when you think about it, when you see it in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, because they don't know. They don't know what that symbol means. And it all comes back to this movie. And Koba's in here as well, guys, too. So I thought, like, Franco's character, he's trying to help people. He's trying to cure Alzheimer's, right? And it's a tragic tale, because in trying to help people, he ends up destroying people. And then, of course, we got the side, we bring in the story of Caesar, growing smarter, talking for the first time. I still get choked up when he gets left at the sanctuary, and this Andy Serkis's performance of him kind of like beating against the window, saying, "Please don't leave me here," kind of thing. There's so much emotional stuff in this movie that you forget it when you think about how good Dawn is. You forget it now when Kingdom is, but Rise of the Planet of the Apes started it, right, and had that emotional center to it. That I think it's my favorite one, but it's so hard because, as I said when I started this, all 4 of them are awesome. All 4 of them are so different in tone as well, and look at different aspects of how apes are integrating into their world now. it's just hard to pick. And maybe in another year I'll say no. I still think that Dawn is better. No, but then that means Rise would be going down, and it's kind of like it's hard. It's hard to pick which one is the best. But that's how I would rank it. So let's go over to that Joe Blow thing here, and I'll vote. I'll vote in it, and I'll say, I will say, Rise of the Planet of the Apes is the best. I know that some people would like to include that Tim Burton one, 43% by critics, 27% by the audience. That one was what? No. Well, yeah, sorry. I'll vote. Let's see where we land. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is number one. Yeah. That and I can't argue with it. I recently rewatched it too. Like there's so many good scenes between Jason Clarke and Caesar. And then to see kind of like the Koba and the other human guy that was being a butthead. I forget his name. Like there's like a mirroring kind of parallel story of both sides, right? And then to see how much Koba, like he agreed with Koba, like to see that eat away at him in War of the Planet of the Apes. It was just so well done. And then okay, people put the original one there. Because I guess nostalgia reasons, right? Rise is number 3. So if we only took out the newer ones, what was Planet of the Apes 2001 is number 4. Well, so if we just took out the newer ones, Dawn would be number 1 for a lot of people. Then Rise, yeah. Then War of the Planet of the Apes, really over Kingdom. Kingdom would be number 4. Let Kingdom sit a bit, though. That's the way I would say. Let Kingdom just sit and rest a little bit. Because there's a lot of stuff going on with the Nova character, the human character, and there's a lot going on with what Proximus was doing. Like his ideology. And that's where I was making that Apocalypse Now comparison. He understood a lot about what was going on. We just don't know exactly how much he understood. Like, sorry, spoiler alert. They're trying to get into a bunker, and I think Proximus knew what was inside there, and that's a little bit not too explored in it, but that's what's left open for more exploration, right? Because there's going to be pockets of humans that would have been in bunkers just like in Fallout, right? They're waiting for their time to come back out once they develop some kind of a cure to or a resistance to the simian flu. So there's a lot more to be explored into the Apes movies, guys. Where did you vote? How did you think about it? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. You're watching Mirror Domains. Okay, so that will be cut out and put up on the channel later on. Yeah. What are the other ones that were on the list here? Conquest, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Battle of the... Which one was it where they blew up the planet at the end? Where it just ends with that kind of logo. A small green planet in the corner of the universe is now dead. It's like, what? Yeah, those the Heston version, like the 80s or 60s versions, they kind of went off the rails. And it doesn't feel like these ones are going off the rails, right? So like these ones just seem to be adding to the tapestry of the richness of the world that they've created, and that's why I'm looking forward to them. All right, let's move on. What's opening up this weekend is Strangers Chapter 1. First reactions say that The Strangers Chapter 1 is a tense setup for a trilogy. Yeah, if you don't know, the director, Rennie Harlin, who directed Cliffhanger with Sylvester Stallone and stuff, Well, they shot all 3 movies back to back. So there's going to be a staggered release schedule. I think Chapter 2 comes out this fall. And then around Christmas time, Chapter 3 comes out. So first reactions, like I was dubious about it. I was kind of like, guys, just make the good one, like make the first one good first, and then we'll see if we can want to watch another one, right? That's what I felt. But it seems like if the early reactions are good, then it heightens my anticipation for it. So Rennie Harlan, as for his thoughts, Strangers Chapter 1 is sure to be divisive, as it feels like a soft reboot of the original with a more slashery approach, but its usage of tensions is what elevates it. Petch is a great final girl, and I can't wait to see what is to come. Yeah, that's from Joe Blow there. Hashtag show. The Strangers Chapter 1 is a stellar addition to the legacy. It brilliantly pays homage to the original while carving out its own path. Finally, a spine-chilling horror worth the wait this year. I didn't realize that the first 2 movies had a legacy that was of any repute. I guess some people are liking it, though. That's good. This is good news, right? Because at first glance, because they made the 3, because it's Rennie Harlan coming in, it was kind of like, it's just a bunch of people that like to kill people at night and they wear masks. How are you going to make it really interesting for 3 movies, guys? Well, apparently they are. So kudos. The Strangers Chapter 1 is a suspenseful and intense thriller that will have viewers on the edge of their seats begging for more. The cliffhanger ending, the cliffhanger ending is brutal and might leave some feeling very unsatisfied. Stay for the mid-credit scene for a taste of what's next. Okay, so there is a mid-credit scene. We'll be remembering that as we go in. But because it's Chapter 1, we know that, okay, maybe a cliffhanger would be okay in this scenario. Traditionally, though, I don't like cliffhangers for the first movie because I like a cohesive, self-contained movie. But now that we know that we're getting all 3 chapters, like within the year, okay, I'll let the cliffhanger slide. Honestly, I loved it. Had some great scares, and the way it set up the next chapter was so good. I will admit the acting is half kind of felt CW-ish, but the kind of action kicked in the main characters did amazing. So early buzz, May 17th, guys, comes out this. I'll be seeing it this Thursday. I am prioritizing The Strangers over the If movie, the Imaginary Friends movie. You know me, horror is my bag. I love horror because it's so versatile. We'll watch the kid-friendly Ryan Reynolds movie on, I don't know, maybe I'll wait till Saturday and go see it with my niece. Whew. Yeah. Maybe that's what I'll do. First reactions for Strangers, Chapter 1. And then I'll see the Amy Winehouse biopic on Friday. I know that people would like to see my reactions to If, but I don't know. We'll see. Chris Ober says, check out the trailer called Scream 1950. Is that one of those retro trailers that they did? I've watched a few of them. Some of them are meh. Does Jason Statham's play movie ever released yet? No, we'll talk about that in just a minute. Hey, if you like this kind of stuff, guys, come join us where we talk about the new Superman suit, trailer reactions for Deadpool and Wolverine, Megalopolis, The Acolyte. Oh, I got to update some of these thumbs. For Fall Guy, we got movie reviews and tarot, series reactions for Fallout, and of course, then we do movie news throughout the week, where we talk about all the trending movie news, upcoming movies, what movies should you be watching in the theaters for 2024 and 2025, that kind of stuff. So, talking about Statham, let's get into it. I like Jason Statham's movie, The Beekeeper, this year, and he's been quietly putting these action movies under his belt. He teams up with Plane director for action thriller Mutiny. I liked Plane last year. Wait, was Plane this year? No, it was last year, right? Plane was a good movie with Gerard Butler. We need a Plane 2 because that was open for a sequel. So Statham, the Stath unites with Plane director Jean-Francois Richet for a tale of revenge and conspiracy and mutiny. Okay, so what's the log line here? Do we got a log line here? In mutiny, after his billionaire industrialist boss is murdered in front of him, Cole Reed is set up to take the fall for the crime, leaving him on the run as he works to uncover an international conspiracy. Now, the big reason why The Beekeeper worked so well is because it was very flat. It was cardboard. It was kind of like there's not a lot of depth in here. There's no scenes where he's got to have like an emotional kind of arc, backbone kind of thing. It was just, oh, there's bad guys doing bad things. I'm going to stop them from doing those things. It was kind of like that. David Ayer handled that very well, I felt, and I thought it was a good return to form for Jason Statham. So if they can keep that kind of tone for this movie, Mutiny, uh, from what I remember of Plane, I like the action in it, and because Gerard Butler has a little bit more range than Statham, the emotional scenes in Plane paid off a lot more. So who knows? Maybe it'll be kind of like a mix up there for whatever Mutiny is. So if they're just announcing this now, guys, I would expect next year is when this is going to come out. Plane sequel, Ship. Yeah, the sequel will be called Ship. Will Mike Colter return for more? I don't know, but I do want to see more with that character from Gerard Butler. The Beekeeper is now available on Prime. Yeah. What do you guys think? Statham fans working with the Plane director for a movie called Mutiny. Thumbs up in my book. Laws of Man. What's that? Harvey Keitel, Dermot Mulroney, Richard Brake board Laws of Man crime thriller. Okay, well, Harvey Keitel is awesome. Dermot Mulroney, got nothing against him. Richard Brake, one of Rob Zombie's go-to people. Actually, Richard Brake was just in a he's in a small indie kind of actioner slash horror type thing. The Last Stop to Yuma Country that I hear is getting good buzz. It's basically, yeah, while stranded at a rural Arizona restaurant, a traveling salesman is thrust into a dire hostage situation. Yeah, these two, Richard Brake is one of the bad guys because he's always playing the bad guy. Is they go into this diner and they're like, they hold the waitress hostage, saying, "Just let people come in. We're gonna sit here." For some reason, I can't remember. But then all these other people start coming in, and they're all packing heat. So it was kind of like, it's an interesting scenario. Last stop to Yuma County. Richard Brake, for the most part, he's always good. It's just Rob Zombie, his dialogue, he delivers it well. It's just, and he was really good in Mandalorian season 2, was it? Where he plays like an Imperial officer. So, Laws of Man. What's this? Sorry to get sidetracked here. Keitel will play a mysterious hippie preacher in the film about two U.S. Marshals on a dangerous mission to arrest Benjamin Boney, an outlaw wanted for murder, only to see a desert ambush thwart their plans. As marshals navigate assassination attempts and looming catastrophe, they stumble onto a sinister plot that threatens the very foundations of peace and justice. So obviously, guess what? Richard Brake's going to be one of the bad guys, right? Harvey Keitel, though, good to see him working. What we just last saw him in The Irishman, right? I haven't seen him since, but he was good in that. Director Blattenberger was his first name. Wrote the script for Laws of Man. Will produce alongside Dan Black. Okay. As a writer, director, producer, Blattenberger is known for his work on Condor's Nest. But who's directing? We got a director? Doesn't look like it, unless I missed it up here, James. It will be shopped for buyers at the Cannes Film Festival. Phil Blattenberger. Okay, so there you go. He's directed. So it sounds like this is already a shot and done if they're going to be shopping it at Cannes. Let's just pull up the IMDb. Laws of Man. Because they're looking for a distributor, right? The Dawn of the Cold War. Oh, it's a period piece. The Dawn of the Cold War, huh? Dermot Mulroney, Jackson Rathbone. Okay. It's weird. If it's already done, we would usually IMDb puts in like production photos and stuff, and we don't see that. Keep our eyes open for this. Interesting cast. Next. Let's take some live comments here. Chris Sober says definitely we need a plane too. If director has enough salary, maybe they might make it. I've seen the first plane. It's pretty. Yeah, the first plane was pretty decent. I liked it. I thought it was fun in the theater too. You really felt the stakes, right? Let's talk about Tom Hardy and Blade. Well, not really. Sort of. Sorry, that's a bit of a misleading headline. Tom Hardy and Mahershala Ali to lead heist thriller, 77 Blackout. And why I put Blade in the headline here, guys, is because what does this mean for the Blade movie? Mahershala Ali is supposed to be making the Blade movie now, guys. So what do you mean? All of his efforts should be on Blade. Otherwise, he's going to be like 52 before they begin filming Blade. And I just don't see that happening then, right? If you want Blade to be in the MCU, do you really want a 52-year-old actor? Like, he's 50 now, but for God's sakes. So what's going on here? Tom Hardy and Mahershala Ali will unite for 77 Blackout from No Time to Die director Cary Fukunaga. Okay. Well, if you like Fukunaga's work, I like Tom Hardy, and I do like Mahershala Ali, so that's a good trio right there. What's this about? The synopsis reads, in 1977, 5 rogue police officers formulate a plan to rob 3 criminal strongholds. Okay, well, that's interesting. The Hong Kong Triads, the Italian Mafia, and the Harlem Mob all in one night. Wow, that's quite the score. I would expect it would probably end rather gruesomely, too. When a blackout sweeps the city the night of the robbery, the crew is forced to navigate a hellish landscape as years of being overworked and underpaid forces each of them to confront their own morality. So it's, yeah. So they're trying to capitalize on their knowledge of where monies are being moved around from the underground organizations, right? It's an interesting premise, for sure. I just again, what does this mean for the Blade movie? If he's supposed to be working on that, that's all I want to hear from Mahershala Ali is Blade. Tom Hardy, he's working on Venom 3 right now. He's going to have that Bike Riders movie coming out. That's already done. Bike Riders was supposed to come out last year. But the third Venom movie is going to be just kind of like a throwaway. I have no hype for Venom 3. You kind of proved that you didn't know what you were doing when you brought Carnage in and you wasted him in the second movie. Seriously? So he's just going to be fighting another symbiote of some kind in the third one. What more is there to add? What more is there to add for a Venom 3, I say? But again, going back to the Blade, Mahershala Ali, please work on Blade. That's all I want. This project, Thriller 77, or 77 Blackout, it sounds interesting and sounds like it's a movie that would be on my radar, and it is. It's just, yeah. Gershover. I just watched a horror movie called Low Lives. Yeah, I looked for that Low Lives on Tubi, but I wasn't on my Tubi. Bike Rider trailer 3 just dropped. Yeah, we talked about that on the weekend as well. Norman Reedus looking like a very interesting character in that one. Okay, let me pull up my Tubi and see if that's there, because I heard interesting things about Low Lives. Low Life, right? No, it was Low Lives. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Tubi is different. Tubi's just like Netflix. It's territorial, so Canada will have different stuff than the U.S. version. It kind of sucks. Yeah, that sucks. It's not there. There's a movie called Low Life from 2017, but that's not the one we're talking about. All right, let's go on to some hit or miss headlines. Where are we sitting? We're at 52 minutes. Wow. And then we got a fun story to end out the story at the end of the show here. Sort of. All right, hit or miss. If it's a hit, we'll talk about it. If it's a miss, we'll move on. Filmmakers react to Brian Fuller exiting Crystal Lake series. Yeah, remember the Friday the 13th series, Crystal Lake? The showrunner, director Brian Fuller is left because of creative differences. But filmmakers are praising his pilot script that was going to be on Peacock. Yeah, so very Scream writer and director of Scream 7, Kevin Williamson, said, "Bummed hard, so sorry I won't be part of what would have been an epic Brian Fuller show. Your pilot was so beautifully realized, a gorgeous portrait of a mother unraveling in her grief, not to mention bloody horrific. I was so looking forward to our long chase episode." There's other people that came into that. That's kind of a miss. Whatever. Do we really care what other filmmakers think about a project being? Yeah, kind of. I don't think Crystal Lake's going to happen. Just reboot it as a movie, guys. Will Smith, Will Smith's Sugar Bandits finds a director in Stefano Solima. Will Smith will be scaling back to do an indie film. Of course, he's going to be having Bad Boys Forever, right? Coming out soon. I liked Bad Boys for Life, the third one. Sicario 3 director is going to be doing this, Stefano Solimo, for Sugar Bandits. We'll have a budget of around 80 million. Well, that's not very indie. Indie films don't have a budget of 80 million. Let's get that straight. Sugar Bandits follows a former Special Forces soldier who joins an elite vigilante squad aiming to wipe out the drug trade in Boston, but soon learns that things are not what they seem. Okay. 80 million is not indie film. Indie is like 10 million or less, guys. What are you reporting over there, Joe Blow? So, next. Isabel May to lead new horror from Night of the Comet writer. Isabel May will star in Menace, the first movie written by Night of the Comet's Tom Emberhard. It's more than 2 decades. Okay. You guys know I like horror here. Menace stars Isabel May as a research student who has a psychotic breakdown and is remanded to the custody of her aunt and uncle in a small town. When strange things start happening around her and people start disappearing, she isn't sure what is real or is in her imagination. Okay, Menace. Interesting. Are you looking forward to Menace? Yeah, that's interesting. Kind of piqued my curiosity. Isabel May. Her face looks familiar to me. Let me pull up her IMDb. like a very young Jewel, right? Like the singer Jewel. Isabel May. Katie Cooper on Netflix is Alexa and Katie. Okay. Masters of Air. American Masters. Run and Hide. Young Sheldon. Okay. She was on there for 9 episodes. So she's fairly young still. Isabel May. What? 1923? 1883? New horror, huh? Keep our eyes on that one. Next. Jennifer Lawrence slams Mike Pence at GLAAD Media Awards. Conversion therapy isn't real enough for you, even though you would think it worked on you. What? Guys, yeah, okay. If you don't know, yes. Sorry, ScarJo. Scarlett Johansson was my favorite actress, but I think Jennifer Lawrence is right now. And they flip-flop just because of the amount of work. Scarlett Johansson hasn't really been in a whole lot of stuff lately, so Jennifer Lawrence is my number one. Always. Well, not always. She just said you could flip-flop. What are you talking about? So I guess she was at some event called GLAAD or something. 35th Annual GLAAD Awards. So, yeah, they got into some political stuff. I should have left with that before we got into some of the other stuff. Whatever. She can talk about whatever she wants, as far as I'm concerned. Gina Carano moving forward with Disney lawsuit. For claiming discrimination. I see. I was hoping that she would just kind of let it lay low for a little bit, and then us fans would have made enough fuss that they would have brought her back for like a cameo in the Mandalorian Grogu movie. But not like this. Not if this happens. And if this is the best path for her to get herself feeling okay about the situation, fine. But it just means we're never going to get any more Cara Dune unless they recast, which sucks because I like Gina Carano. Oh yes, we got some rest in pieces to make. Suzanne Black-Linney, the first victim in Jaws, dies at the age of 77. Such an iconic scene. Rest in peace. That happened over the weekend. Chrissy Watkins. The other one that was over the weekend was Roger Corman, the king of the B-movies, legend of the silver screen, dies at 98. That is a life, well lived, right? A big life. 493 producer credits. Wow. Roger Corman always made like the Sharktopus type stuff, like the schlockier version of the bigger type movies. I would say that was slightly trailblazing. Carnosaur, right? Came out after Jurassic Park. That kind of stuff. And if you ever watch any interviews with him, he was just a stand-up dude. He had a really interesting sense of humor. He never took himself all that seriously, too. Rest in peace, Roger Corman. All right, let's round out this show here. We'll end with this. This is a story that I usually don't talk about. But he did it. He did it, not me. Donald Trump laments the late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man, he says, in a speech that he did at a rally over the weekend. What is this?
The late, great Hannibal Lecter.
Late, great.
He oftentimes would have a friend for dinner. Remember the last scene? Excuse me, I'm about...
So I'd have to say to him, sir, the late, great Hannibal Lecter, as far as we know, Anthony Hopkins is still alive, so I don't know what you're talking about. And of course, the last time that we saw the Hannibal character, he was on a plane, flying away, feeding a small kid brains. So I don't know where that quote came from, or what. Like, he's trying to remember Silence of the Lambs wrong, I think. He wasn't late great. He's not dead. Anthony Hopkins is still with us. 86 years old. Yeah, still making movies too. So I don't know what movie he's remembering. But every now and then, this is just meant for fun, guys, because I'm a movie nerd. I'm a movie aficionado. It's kind of, hey, I tend to stay away from the political stuff, but when you tread on my territory, got to call you out. I don't know what you're talking about. And why? Wait a minute. Why are you saying that he was late and great? Like he was a very menacing bad guy. He eats people. What are you talking about? I just found it humorous. And then, of course, yes, the other peoples out there are taking Trump to task on this, saying that he's misquoted him, like sort of like what I just did. But I'm not beating him over the head with it. It was just kind of like a bit of a curiosity. It's like, wait a minute, late great. He's not dead. Anyway, that's the way that the realm of movie news has been in today's May 13th, 2024. What did you guys think about some of the headlines? Let me know in the comments. Let's go over to Film Update, see if we missed anything. Anya Taylor-Joy arriving at Cannes. Yes, we're going to see her in Furiosa. Again, it's stunning. Absolutely stunning. New look at Heartstopper. No, we don't need that. It's a TV show. The teaser trailer for Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power Season 2 releases tomorrow. Well, come join us here on the channel for that, for upcoming movie news stuff. I liked Rings of Power Season 1, even though it was very rough getting out of the gate for the first couple of episodes. But it pays off when it gets to the final couple of episodes. So yeah, they filmed all that. It's done now. It's just, okay, we're going to get our teaser. I'll be looking forward to that tomorrow. Happy birthday to Robert Pattinson. Was it his birthday yesterday? Charles Melton. The Cleaning Lady has been renewed for Season 4. Jacob Anderson behind-the-scenes interview with a vampire. Okay. Josh O'Connor. Charlie XCX shares her thoughts on Challengers. Yeah, who the heck is this Charlie? Who is Charlie the XCX? She made this song the other day that I reacted to, and I was kind of like, I was so gagged and hyped by Challengers that I went out till 5 a.m. after seeing it, and there was a little hungover at the Met. Wow, that's on you. I don't know why the movie was okay, but it didn't. I never thought it would drive anyone to hit the bottle. That is what it is. Next. Handling the Undead. Oh yeah, we did a trailer reaction for this. This is a Norwegian horror movie about zombies and zombieism. We like zombies here on this channel, don't we? May 31st. Kylie Minogue shares new photo of Jonathan Bailey and Adam Scott. Okay. Class Act. Sixth Commandment. Just looking for, basically, guys, I'm just looking for anything that's trending here. Jurassic World movie. Jonathan Bailey teases his role. Hold on to your butt. So is he going to be the computer guy? He's going to be the tech guy? Jonathan Bailey? Yeah, Gareth Edwards is directing the new Jurassic World movie. Looking forward to that one. Where's Squid Game Season 2? Shouldn't that be coming out this year? Matthew McFadden. Okay, so it's just BAFTA Awards. Oh, God. Elizabeth Debicki. Thumbs up. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. First poster for, yeah, that came out yesterday. All right. Yeah, then apparently somebody punched Steve Buscemi. What are you guys doing? Why? Somebody did that to Rick Moranis as well, right? This sucker punched him. It's like, what are you guys doing? Why? And Buscemi. Everybody likes Steve Buscemi. What are you doing? Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes debuts with 56 million at the box office. Cost around 160 million to make. So yeah, we'll end it off there. What do you guys think about all of the movie news stories of the day? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Come join us tomorrow for more. No, actually, yeah, we'll be. We'll do. There will be a show tomorrow, but not on Wednesday, because I'm working on Wednesday. All right. And then if anything drops, we'll hit it right away.